Employees have had 20 months of establishing routines and patterns that have been entrenched in their family and work lives, and people don't really want to change it.
It's been a big shift for Canada's white-collar workers, but COVID has made the home office part of the new normal. But as companies prepare for employees to return, a new poll shows around 44% of people have no interest in going back.
Colleagues and I have done our own research and found very similar results going as early as back as May and June of last year. So I don't think that this is surprising as much as it is an inevitability of a different lifestyle that people have grown accustomed to since the pandemic has started.
Angus Reid's numbers show that if asked to return to the office, 1 in 4 people say they would, but might start looking for a new job. A full 19%, though, said they'd quit and find something else. Employers have expressed anxieties about productivity while working from home, but numbers in recent StatsCan papers should ease those concerns.
By and large, what we're seeing is that productivity has largely held stable. We don't know to what extent that is going to play out over years. I mean, we know just in this time so far, we've been more than a year in this pandemic working from home, and we see it being fairly stable from a productivity perspective. It will depend to some extent on industry and on individual.
But Michael Holinsky from the Ted Rogers School of Management says corporate culture may be just as big a motivator for employers trying to get people back to the office.
Culture is an incredibly important competitive advantage. And organizations were worried about culture changing or weakening as a result of no longer having the water cooler experience. Organizations need to institutionalize other forms or other mechanisms to maintain and strengthen that culture in the new world.
While some people can stay remote, many won't, and both Holinsky and Trugakos say it's important for workers and employers to have clear talks on what expectations are before a return to office plan rolls out.
The organization needs to be clear what their priorities are, and keep in mind that something like autonomy is something that's very important to employees. So to the extent that you can include employees in this discussion and give them a bit of a say, maybe it's going to be 2 days out of the office, maybe it's going to be 3, maybe it's going to be 1. Different people will have different preferences. And if the organization can communicate effectively with their employees and help develop a strategy that's going to work for both, I think that's step one that's really important.
In Ottawa, Xiaoli Li, City News.